Was there a jukebox at Sex? Was this Vivian Westwood? Did she have that?
There was a jukebox after a while. Originally, there was a radiogram. Do you know what a radiogram is?
Please explain.
A radiogram is a record deck and a radio in a nice big piece of furniture with normally a sliding door and space to put your LPs in underneath. And in fact, round the corner in Melrose, there's an upmarket kind of Melrose kind of shop with exactly one of those in it, except now it's probably got a USB player in it or Bluetooth as
Right.
well. And it's probably a tidy penny. But the thing with some of those old radiograms, they were made out of good proper wood, none of this MDF nonsense. It was like a bit of mahogany, and you get a great sound out, and the bass comes booming out. Anyway, Malcolm made one of them. It's like a 50s, early 60s kind of thing. And it was a bit like the one we used to have at home. So that was kind of cool. And it's probably the first time I heard the Stooges. He had the Stooges album that he'd put on that. And then a bit later on, he got a jukebox. But,
Who was curating this stuff?
Yeah.
pardon?
Who was curating the putting in the records or supplying everything?
Just whoever brought a record in, really. That was it. Malcolm would get stuff. You might pick something up and open up the lid and put it on. He got a lot of singles on the jukebox from, there was a shop called Rock On Records. A guy had a shop in Camden and another stall down the Portobello Road called Ted Carroll. And he's famous in that song by Tin Lizzy, or Thin Lizzy. It's spelled that, but it's pronounced Tin Lizzy because they're Irish. In the song The Rocker, I get my records from the Rock On Stall. That's about them, I'm a rocker, baby. But the only thing was when the radiogram went, the jukebox was great, but only played singles. But on the radiogram, Malcolm had this most fantastic jazz album that I've actually rebought, and I think it's one of my best favourite albums. It's called, it's the soundtrack for a beatnik movie from the 60s called Les Liaisons Dangereuses, and it's by Art Blakey and his Jazz Messengers, and that sounded pretty cool on the radiogram. But you couldn't play that on the jukebox because it was an LP and they don't fit. They don't go down that little hole.
What did we call that, Dave? Because we had one too. I had one too when I was a kid. I remember one in my house. What did we call that thing? It was just a console.
Yeah, it was just a cabinet. Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents had the same thing. It was just kind of like this big.
Yeah, well, we called them radiograms for some reason. I don't know why. But thinking, and you mentioned the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or we was talking about that earlier on. I went to Cleveland, I don't know, about 20 years ago, and got a guided tour around it. And the best thing I saw was this glorified radiogram, which was about 20 feet long, and it had a TV and it had lights that lit up, but they were really old. Like the coloured bulbs you get in a fairground?
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
that flashed in maybe a 4-track tape recorder. And it was Mike Smith from the Dave Clark Fives radio home entertainment unit. It's about 20 foot long, but he's probably gave it to him because he didn't know where to put it anymore.
Yeah.
It was cool. But the time I went back again, I said to Sylvain, come on, let's go and look at this. And it weren't there. It was probably in storage somewhere. And I was quite disappointed.
Ah.
Yeah.
Some kid's going to inherit it and go, what the hell do I do with this?
Yeah. Well, you probably have to cut it in half and get it in your little, which would defeat the object. Yeah.